Hey, Jake. You look a bit overwhelmed. How was your first week in Chicago going so far?
Oh, Emma, it is a whirlwind. A whirlwind is when many things happen at the same time and everything feels very fast. I feel like I am in a movie, but I forgot my script.
That is completely normal for the first week in America. Everything is big, loud, and honestly a little confusing at first. Did you manage to get your local phone number yet?
I did, finally, but even that was a struggle. I walked into the store and the assistant asked me about my data plan. I just stood there looking at him. I mean, I know what data is, but I did not know which plan I needed.
I remember that feeling. It's a lot of information to process. Did you get your bank account sorted out too? That's usually the hardest part for people moving to a new country.
Well, I tried. I went to the bank yesterday. The lady was very nice, but she asked for my proof of address. I told her I am staying at a temporary place, which is a place you stay for a short time before moving to a permanent home.
And let me guess, she said she needed a utility bill or a lease agreement. A lease agreement is the official contract you sign when you rent an apartment.
Exactly. I felt so silly. I was just standing there with my passport and a big smile, thinking that would be enough. I guess I have a lot to learn about how things work here.
Do not worry, Jake. You're doing great. It takes time to adjust. Adjust means to change your behavior so you can deal with a new situation. Tomorrow we can look at some apartment listings together if you want.
Speaking of adjusting, I went to a grocery store this morning. Emma, why is everything so huge? I just wanted a small carton of milk, but I could only find these massive plastic jugs.
Welcome to the land of bulk buying. Bulk buying means purchasing things in large amounts, usually to save money. We like our containers big over here.
It was a bit of a shock. And the prices on the shelves? I thought I had enough cash, but when I got to the register, the total was higher than I expected.
I should have warned you. In the US, the price you see on the shelf does not include sales tax. Sales tax is an extra cost added by the government that you pay at the checkout.
That explains it. I was standing there counting my coins, feeling very confused. The cashier was waiting, and there was a long line of people behind me. I felt like a total tourist.
Don't feel bad. Everyone makes that mistake during their first week. Did you manage to find everything else you needed, like bread or eggs?
Well, I found the bread aisle, but there were 50 different types of bread: whole wheat, sourdough, multigrain. I just stood there staring at the bags for 5 minutes.
I know the choices can be overwhelming. Overwhelming means having too many things to deal with at once. Next time, just grab the one that says classic white if you want to keep it simple.
Good advice. But then came the checkout. The cashier asked if I wanted paper or plastic. I thought she was asking about my credit card, so I said plastic.
Oh no, she was asking about the grocery bags, paper bags or plastic bags.
Exactly. She handed me a plastic bag, and I realized my mistake immediately. I just smiled and walked away as fast as I could.
So, after the grocery store adventure, did you manage to find your way back home okay? I know the city layout can be a bit like a maze. A maze is a complicated system of paths that is easy to get lost in.
Well, I decided to be brave and take the L. That is what you call the elevated train here, right? The train that runs on tracks high above the street.
That is right. The L is famous in Chicago. But let me guess, you got on the wrong line.
I did. I was looking at the map and I thought I needed the blue line. I saw a blue sign and just jumped on the train. But after 3 stops, I realized the buildings outside looked very different from my neighborhood.
Oh no, you probably took the train going in the opposite direction. The opposite direction means the completely other way, like going north instead of south.
Exactly. I was heading toward O'Hare Airport instead of downtown. I had to get off at the next station and wait for the train going the other way. I felt like such a newcomer.
A newcomer is just another word for a person who has recently arrived. And honestly, Jake, even people who have lived here for years still get on the wrong train sometimes. Did you ask anyone for help?
I did. I asked a woman on the platform. I said, "Excuse me, does this train go to the city center?" She was actually very helpful. She told me to look for the loop signs.
The Loop is the central business district where all the train lines meet in a big circle. Once you see that word, you know you're heading in the right direction.
Now I know. I spent about an hour just riding the train back and forth. But hey, at least I got a good tour of the city for the price of one ticket.
That is the spirit. You have to find the silver lining. A silver lining is a positive side to a bad or difficult situation.
The train ride made me so hungry, Emma. I decided to stop at a small diner near the station. A diner is a classic American restaurant that usually serves comfort food.
Oh, I love diners. They're so cozy. What did you order?
I ordered a burger and fries. It was delicious, but the service was so fast. The waiter kept coming back every 2 minutes to ask, "Is everything okay here? And do you need a refill?" A refill is when they fill your glass again for free.
That is just how we do it here. They want to make sure you have a great experience. But I bet the bill gave you another cultural moment, didn't it?
It really did. When he brought the check, I saw a blank line at the bottom that said tip. I know about tipping, but I didn't know how much was normal. I didn't want to be cheap, but I didn't want to overpay either.
Tipping is a big part of the culture here because servers rely on those tips for their income. Usually, 20% is the standard for good service.
20%? I was thinking maybe 5 or 10. I'm glad I didn't just leave a couple of coins on the table. That would have been embarrassing.
It can be tricky at first. In many countries, the service charge is already included in the price, but here it is separate. Did you manage to calculate it okay?
Well, I pulled out my phone and used the calculator. I was trying to be subtle, which means doing something in a quiet way so people don't notice, but I think the waiter saw me.
Don't worry about it. Even locals use their phones to calculate the tip sometimes. It's better than getting the math wrong.
True. After I paid, he said, "Have a nice day, honey." It was so sweet. I'm starting to think people here are much friendlier than I expected.
It sounds like you have had a very busy first week, Jake. From bank accounts to the L train and learning how to tip, you should be proud of yourself.
Thanks, Emma. It was stressful at times, but I am starting to feel more at home. I even learned that honey is just a friendly way people talk here, and not just for people they know.
Exactly. You are picking up the local lingo already. Lingo is just the casual word for the special vocabulary or expressions used by a specific group of people.
I still have a long way to go, though. I need to find a permanent apartment and maybe even figure out how to drive on these wide roads. Everything still looks so different to me.
One step at a time, Jake. You have survived the first week, and that is usually the hardest part. Soon, you'll be the one giving advice to the newcomers.
I hope so. Maybe next week I can tell you about my first time trying a Chicago deep dish pizza. I heard it's more like a pie than a pizza.
Oh, it definitely is. We can talk about that next time. Honestly, sharing these stories is the best way to feel more comfortable in a new place.
I agree. It helps to talk it out with a friend. Thanks for listening to all my clumsy stories today, Emma.
Anytime, Jake. And for everyone listening, we hope Jake's first week in Chicago helps you feel more confident about your own English journey.
If you enjoyed our conversation today, there are many more stories and helpful tips waiting for you on the Everyday English Talk channel. See you in the next episode.
See you next time. Stay curious and keep practicing.